He should have known if a guy like him talked to a girl like her, someone would end up dead. This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 126, Spotlight on Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Superman.
Hello, and welcome to the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 126, where tonight we will be shining our spotlight on Eli Craig's Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I am your host for this evening, Paul Hawkins, and as ever, I am joined by
Brett Summers
and
Damien Hicks.
But before we get on to shining our little spotlight and taking it from under the bushel, we're going to talk about what we've been up to and what we've been watching. But
Before we go any further, I should warn you, I have terrible wind this evening.
Oh, good.
As opposed to...
I meant to tell you this the moment I walked through, you came in the studio, but
God.
I've only just remembered because there's some movement, so I thought I'd better warn you now.
Okay, so there's a yellow weather warning in the Cult Faction studio.
There's a brown weather warning.
Okay, so other than having wind, Damien, have you been up to anything worth chatting about?
What have I been? Well, I've been to Peppa Pig World, stroke Polton's Park, and now the really cool thing is, now they're that little bit older, more time is spent in the Polton's section than it is the Peppa section.
Isn't that more walking?
Yeah, but it's less boring.
It's not huge.
It's actually it's grown considerably in the last 2 or 3 years.
It's not like walking around Disney World. I mean,
No,
he made it sound like,
no,
Krull
we'll just sit here while you go, no, they're lightning horses.
No, they're 3 and 6, 3 and 5. They're not allowed on rides on their own, regardless of whether it's in Peppa Pig World or not.
They're quite tall.
Not tall enough.
You have met them, haven't you?
You can get them shoes.
Yeah, but the shorter they are, I mean, we didn't have to pay for Chloe this time round, but that will be the last time that happens, I think. Because she's just under the cusp of that little bar they make you walk through.
Does that mean she can't get on many rides apart from the ones in Peppa Pig World then?
No, there's a few outside of Peppa Pig World she go on as well.
So you make her stand there and
Yeah.
watch you. Chloe, hold the bags.
I just zip-tied her to the fence whilst we went round on everything else.
We're all going on this. You can watch. Don't forget to film us.
But yeah, so that was cool.
Anything from you, Mr. Summers?
Yeah, the brown warning you gave earlier is somewhat ironic. As yesterday, in fact, I was at my day job under my civilian identity out at school, and every so often now in schools they have a drug dog that comes round. Did you know about this?
No,
No.
I didn't know about this.
Like at the airport when the
Yeah,
dog
I'm
will come
aware of
down,
what a drug dog
they
is.
have them at football grounds.
Was it a
and
spaniel
now-
or an Alsatian?
It was a kind of an Alsatian.
Oh,
I don't think.
Shame it
Is
wasn't a
this-
Shih Tzu.
No, it
and
wasn't.
then
I'm sorry, it was a sort of German Shepherd, because I don't think you can say Alsatian anymore.
Really?
'Cause
Okay.
I think it relates to Alsace and the Germans and the... I was corrected on that before by somebody, I remember now. That just popped into my head.
What-
German Shepherds are right, because, that's not what they were doing either, was it? You know what I mean? Get in there, come on, get in the fence. You know what I mean? It's just like...
I wondered where we were going with
Yeah.
that.
There we go. German. But, yeah. So, they knocked my door and said, "Oh, Miss Summers, do you mind? We've got the police on you and the police." And they kind of just go around all the classes. I think it's just every sort of couple of months they do it.
Did they go around yours more than the others?
No.
Maybe we'll go round again, just in case.
Well, no, they knocked the door and the police lady was there, and she comes in at the beginning and said, "Oh, everyone okay with dogs? No one's allergic to dogs? Anyone scared of dogs? Especially a lot of the SEN kids, they could be, you didn't
Can I just, and it's fine to
and there's a lot
look
of
at the boat, but just move your microphone towards you if you're going to do that, so you then don't have to lean. It's like,
okay.
I'm just
I'm just going to tie it to my lip. Right, yeah. So anyway, she comes in and sort of asks and checks, because obviously the last thing you want is like a child with some sort of SCN need, like freaking out, shouting at a dog and diving at it with a pair of scissors or something like that.
Yeah.
Because, it could happen. That was me using the force on Damien. Can you nearer the mic, please? and yeah, so she did all that, and then she's given it a walk round, and sort of right in the middle row, in the middle, all the kids are starting to laugh, going, oh, and it's year 11 as well. So like, and I was like, what? And I couldn't see because there's some kids sort of sat in the way. And then suddenly I sort of caught the position of the dog and realised that this highly trained drug detecting thing that is, was not, it'd given up detecting drugs. I know the dog's name, but I'm withholding it on here because of,
protecting the innocent.
Professional courtesy and protecting his identity. But let's just say that...
Did he leave a present?
No, for a dog that it was so easy to detect drugs, he was about to leave me a Mr. Brownstone. So you can maybe guess his name. But, so this dog was, and all the kids are going, and then, of course, it lays like its weight in turd in the middle of my classroom, totally disrupting Macbeth for GCSE, Key Stage 4. And then all the kids are the police lady is like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, it's never done this before, ever. I'm not even out at football or anything. I'm so sorry, oh my God, I can't believe this. They're trained not to do this. And she's like having a panic attack because the dog's just dropped like a Godzilla log or pile of Godzilla logs in the middle of my room. And then the SE, the leadership member who's come around with her has then got the bin and just turned it upside down and put it on top of it to cover it up, even though there was stuff in the bin. So I was like, yeah, cheers.
Oh, God.
Wasn't a lot, but, check first.
Yeah.
And, that's why they earn the big bucks. And, and then, so then the police lady, ran off and went and got, the Scoopy bag thing, when you pick up the poop.
Yeah, poo bag.
Poo bag type thing.
So she picks it up. Did she then just leave it outside your door?
No,
Yeah, hang it on your door handle.
She took it and ran off with it. Nice. That's what you did there. And but she's all apologising. I'm sorry, he's never done this before. The leadership guy's going to go, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. I've never seen this happen in a school ever. These dogs are so well trained. This just doesn't happen. But what the best bit was, though, in between that is all the class done this, like, let's put her. And then there was about 5 seconds where it was, silent. And then everyone was like, oh! And everyone, we had to evacuate the entire classroom, shut the door until the cleaners then came in and vaxed it and cleaned it up after the people had gone before we were allowed back in again, because if they breathe something in,
like a hazardous.
Toxoplasmosis and whatever else it might be, So that Macbeth lesson went well.
Brilliant.
But
So have you got carpets in your classroom then?
Yeah, it's not like.
Well, they didn't when we were kids. It was
No.
Normally we just sit on mud and rocks and bang them together.
No, but
No, I thought it'd be like
ours
a
was
hard floor.
stone floors or
well,
whatever
it's like
it was.
carpet tiles. That sort of. I'm sure if you went along enough and you still had hair, you'd get an electric shock.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where all the money's going on school. It's not just iPads for kids and all that kind of stuff.
And the drug.
That's why
soft.
Joe Wicks is pimping himself out on Asda.
And so that was a bit different. That had when you're like, I've experienced everything there is to experience in teaching. And again, I saw the policewoman in the staff room a bit later on in the day, and she was like, I am so terribly I haven't even told my supervisor yet. She said, that doesn't happen. I don't know what it was, what he smelt, what he did. I said, we're pretty fun and cool. I said, it doesn't work for Ofsted, does it? I said, it's not a judgment. And but yeah, so that was now, which is even great at school. People are coming up to me and going, "Oh, Mr. Summers," and I'm like, "Oh, I haven't spoken to him before." And I'm like, "Yeah, how can I help? Is it something about my groundbreaking teaching or something you want to learn about?" And they go, "Is it true a dog pooed in your classroom?" So that's what I am now. I'm the dog shit teacher.
Brilliant. The dog whisperer.
It wasn't whispering. It was definitely
groaning.
It was logging on. Yeah, it was. Yeah. There is a picture if you want to see it.
No, you're fine.
I'm just saying evidence. Because people go, that didn't happen.
Brilliant.
So yeah, that was yesterday.
Cool. All right. Well, what we've been watching? Let's
Watching a dog shit in my classroom.
Damien, I'll come back to you after you finish. Brett, what have you been watching?
Okay, what have I been watching?
That's what I've just asked.
We have... Oh, no, it's rhetorical. I have now finished X-Men 97.
Oh,
I know
okay.
it's been out a while, but we've been watching them at lunchtime at school. And I was sworn that I wouldn't watch them over the 6 weeks holiday and get ahead of anyone. So we have our little group to watch it, come and eat their lunch. Really good. Not necessarily for children.
Yeah.
There's a few swears here and there, and there's a little bit more... it's definitely matured more compared... The original series was quite mature, but this has gone up a notch. And,
Unfortunately, they've turned down Rogue.
See, I don't think they have that much.
Oh, really?
I mean, she isn't as...
Curvaceous?
Yeah, they've turned the curves down, but that probably just makes it a little bit more realistic. This sounds a little bit quieter. Are we okay still?
No, it's fine as long as you're talking to the
Okay.
microphone.
I'm talking right in the microphone.
Yeah, and
Just sounds that in my ears. It sounds quieter.
You're fine in my ears.
Yep, and
Okay.
mine.
Yeah, so really good. I like the storylines they've done. They've put a lot into that last series. And if you're a big X-Men fan, I'm sure you've watched it already and you liked it. So I can't wait for season 2. I know there's all sorts of hoo-ha with the creators and the writers and the guy that got sacked and all that. But, you know, I waited 30 years for a follow-up series, so I don't give a toss who's writing it. Just make me another one, please. So that was good. Do you want someone else, or did you want to come back to me?
Let's go to Damien first
Okay.
of all.
Second of all, I was first.
All right, whatever. I will take you first to BBC or BBC iPlayer, depending on whether you watch weekly or
Can you talk in the mic?
binge watch. Shut up. Binge watch it or not. I want to say Sleeper. It's not Sleeper. It
No.
is
Night Sleeper.
Night Sleeper.
Yeah, I too watched that.
I
You watched it all?
familiar with this.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So basically, they said real time. I don't quite think it was.
Is
Not
it the
not
old,
not
is
in
it the real
24
time where
cents.
45 minutes equals an hour?
Not even that.
Jack Bauer time.
Yeah,
So
more or
you've
less.
You've just come back really loud now.
Then that's an issue with your headphones.
Cool. You swapped them again.
No.
That's right. Carry on.
Anyway,
So it's in real time.
so it's real time. It's the heart of
Ish.
Glasgow night sleeper train that's heading down from Glasgow down to,
Oh, I did
London.
see the trailer for this. Now you said about it. Yes.
and it gets like hackjacked, not hijacked, hackjacked.
On the computers.
Yeah, and then so it's just basically it's set on the train and in the cyber security headquarters, what you call them, place.
GCHQ.
That's the
Can
fella.
I check? Is it allowed to slow down?
It's a mixture of speed and Die Hard on a train.
I can
To
deal with
some
that.
extent.
Silver Streak.
No.
Oh.
It's obvious, but it's adrenaline-filled fun. I quite enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
don't no spoilers, please.
No,
'cause
I
I do
wouldn't-
want to
no.
watch this.
Coming
Yeah.
from Brett.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just take us episode by episode through the series, Damien?
You said deep dive.
But
Yeah.
it's full of all the cliches. So every programmer or hacker is on the keys like this. It's like I work with quite a few coders and whatnot,
Yeah.
and they don't do that because they're watching the screen intently what they're actually coding. Because obviously one dot, one
Yeah,
Parenthesis.
comma, parenthesis out of place
Sometimes
fucks it up.
they'll type about 4 things rather than 800.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. They type quickly, but they're not doing that like
Yeah.
tapping on the screen whilst looking at another screen. So and I think I spotted a couple of downloads when it should have been uploads, but that's just my geeky head kicking in.
Nerd.
But it was an enjoyable 6-part adrenaline-filled romp of a train journey. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I thought it was alright.
That should be on the poster.
It was alright for a BBC
Yeah.
Sunday night viewing.
Yeah.
So all the episodes out now, is it? Like,
Yeah, well, it's
yeah,
on
it's all on
iPlayer.
iPlayer.
I play. Yeah, cool.
And they did a good job because it's full of red herrings. You do almost suspect or it points you in the direction of suspecting every single person that's
Yeah.
on the train or in the office.
Well, that's what a good one should do.
Yeah, but the problem is, it's just painfully obvious from episode 1 about who the protagonist really is.
Okay, I shall.
But it's good compared to a lot of the stuff that is out on terrestrial TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've got bored with a lot of the normal, I guess, policey kind of things. The Death in Paradise and the Death in Paradise universe. Is that
Yeah,
what we're calling it now? Is
yeah,
that a
I think
thing now?
I think it's got
There's-
enough
Yeah, it's
spin-offs
3
now.
series now. That I can deal with because you rarely get it right anyway because it's so off the ball. A bit like Jonathan Creek used to be. That's what it reminds me of. There's a new one coming with David Mitchell.
Oh
which
yeah,
apparently
Ludwig or something.
he's some sort of crazy eccentric detective. So I'll try that. And
Yeah, from what? Well, I've only
looks
seen one
alright,
advert
yeah.
for it, and his brother's gone missing, so he's taken the role of his brother to investigate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that sounds.
That starts
good enough.
tomorrow, I think.
But
well,
I think a lot of the
for you guys, it would have been out already for a couple of
Yeah.
days, but we're recording this before.
Yeah, but a lot of the main sort of ones now just don't interest me anymore. I mean, there's an NYCPS, CDY, WD-40.
Oh yeah, but they're all just. I mean,
But
it's
they're
like,
it's the same show. I mean, there's often a good little bit in it, but that's one episode, and you watch the next episode, and like it's got nothing to do with it, and none of it links in anyway. It's all the problem they got is they're all because it's networked. They're all throwaway episodes unless it's a 2-parter. So. Matey might get shot in one episode, then in the next episode it doesn't matter, and he's back again anyway.
Yeah.
He isn't just like, oh, my arm's still sore or whatever. It's all throwaway stuff. And there is So if anyone can recommend a good, I didn't mind the one with Matey from the Fast Show when he was a vicar. I didn't see enough of those though.
Father Brown.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a classic.
I
That is.
didn't mind some
That's
of
on
them.
drama right now.
Some of those are good. Some of them were a bit more obvious than others, but
Yeah,
and-
but that's afternoon drama type thing. You can just it's in the same league as Diagnosis Murder.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's one of those you can watch it, but it wasn't always like the ones I saw. I can't even remember what happened now, but it wasn't always like it's the guy twiddling his moustache,
No.
like it's sort of that sort of thing. Whereas most of those other shows, it's always the guest star straight away. You
Yeah.
know, who's the famous guest star? He did it. So if anyone can recommend a good new sort of policey kind of drama.
Try the
Show.
Night Sleeper on BBC
Well,
iPlayer.
yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to doing. That's what I'm saying. I'm at a loss for a good one at the moment. In between the Paradise verse being on holiday or whatever.
Okay, so if you're looking for something to watch,
Oh,
Long Legs. So this is available to buy
Cage
and,
Watch.
buy
Hashtag
and
Cage
rent.
Watch.
And this stars Maker Monroe and Sir Nick Cage. So, in the pursuit of a serial killer, an FBI agent uncovers a series of occult clues that she must solve to end his terrifying killing spree. I really enjoyed this film. It is a real mix of supernatural and occultist and crime thriller. You got Maker Monroe that plays an FBI agent, and she's got almost psychic abilities. So they play a little bit on that. I don't think it gives anything away because on most of the trailers and most of the hype and spiel, you kind of know Nick Cage isn't particularly a nice person in this film. But he really gets a chance to go full Nick Cage, wearing latex masks, lots of different costumes. He's really, really good.
Does he go full Wogan Nick Cage?
So he goes Nick Cage, but in an actory kind of way, if that makes sense. They've given him some direction about what he should be doing as Long Legs, but yeah, you need to see it to believe it. It's not as full. It's not as mad Nick Cage. It's more him trying to act like a serial killer that's a bit effed up. But as I said, definitely worth the watch.
I'm a cat. I'm a creepy cat.
I can't really talk too much about it because
it gives it away.
Yeah. But
fair enough.
Definitely,
that is on the list as well.
Definitely give that a watch. Damien, back to you.
Oh, back to me. Okay. Well, so the
is it? Oh, yeah.
I've started
go.
now. I've started, so I'll finish.
He started.
The spooky season is fast approaching us, so I thought I'd get into the horror vibe. I was going to watch Longlegs, and it genuinely was it was a toss up between that and Imperatus. Both these are on both were on Amazon Prime. I think it's Tom Sizemore's last film before he had his brain aneurysm and croaked it. I'll give you the basic synopsis. It's 1930s Pennsylvania, and a weary detective, the aforementioned Tom Sizemore, is on the verge of losing faith in humanity, confronts a malevolent force within an asylum when an aged Civil War veteran insists on confessing dark secrets that threaten his family. Sounds good, doesn't it?
Oh dear.
Sounds, And then underneath that, on Amazon, it says a cross between The Nun and The Exorcist. Now I can tell you now, it's not. There is a nun in it because she happens to be a nurse in the psychiatric hospital, but
that's it. Right.
And it explores themes of possession, so that's its link to The Exorcist. It's I must have the runtime here. No, it's not up on screen, but I think it's about 2 hours, and I would say that is 45 minutes too long. It just meanders. Tom Sizemore was pretty decent in it. He delivers his lines. You really get his character when it says here a weary detective. He proper is a weary detective, and he's not believing a word of what this guy's telling him. And it cuts between the guy. Or rather, when they reveal the guy in the bed who's supposed to be giving this confession, it just looks awful. The effect, it really does look like a guy in a mask, and I don't think I think it's actually proper prosthetics, but it looks like someone's just kind of got the Mike Myers mask and tried to reverse engineer it back into Shatner. It's that bad.
That is Shatner.
Yeah, quite possibly. And it cuts between the psychiatric hospital and then his confession, and his confession is done via flashbacks.
You don't like flashbacks?
Not particularly.
No.
And if anyone's ever, if anyone knows the story of the Bell Witch, then it's a basic rip-off of that original, urban legend.
So why didn't you
horror.
say it's like a cross between the Nun and that then?
Well, but I don't think there's actually ever been a film made of the Bell. Well, there probably has been a Bell Witch film, but nothing famous.
But I can't think what the Bell Witch is.
It's a relative. Well, I mean, if you listen to the shit that I listen to and watch the shit that I watch, the Bell Witch is a
That's not the
famous paranormal
podcast,
case.
People.
No, it's not.
That is not shit.
It's basically 1800s, I think. A family built a farmstead and their daughter became possessed and various other things, and people would come to the house to see what was going on, and it's a long old. Yeah,
I've definitely read it or something.
I'm sure there's been a Bell Witch film, but not what I would say a famous Bell Witch film, if you see what I mean.
So is that worth avoiding then?
Yeah, Imperatus pretty much is worth avoiding. It's a really sound, good idea. It's just poorly executed and far too long. It could have been so much better, and it's a shame that was his last film.
Do you think? Just saying it. Do you think it was? Are they working with the footage they got of him?
No.
Like sometimes.
No. It was all wrapped up because he had this. It was just sudden, wasn't it? So
he wasn't always in the.
He wasn't the best of health. No, true.
Was often just if I'm going out, guns blazing. Sort of.
No, it's just badly directed and purely badly executed, which is a shame.
Can you bring us back from this, Brett?
Of course I can. When the X-Men finished, at school. They were looking for something else to watch. We
Do you do any work at school?
no, this is like our lunchtime thing because
right.
we do an episode every second break, and we've done all like Gravity Falls. We did I can't remember some other ones.
Galaxy High.
bit of Voltron. I forgot what it's called now. There's another one where she's like a witch lady and the little kid goes to the other world, and Disney cancelled it, but it was really good. Because the girl ends up liking another girl, and then Disney were like, "We don't need another series of this," and it's a kids program, and yeah, we like that. But now we watched the first episode of The Villains of Valley View. Totally a kids program.
Okay.
Normal, run-of-the-mill sort of kids channel sitcom, but with the spin being that this family, they're actually all supervillains. So they're trying to relocate from, I don't know, like Capital City or whatever it is, and they're all there. But the mum is Lucy Davison, Jasper Carrot's daughter.
Oh, is that?
And that was why I was like, oh yeah, all right, we'll watch this one. I thought, nice to see her still
Yeah,
working.
I didn't know she'd done anything.
I know she's in Wonder Woman and that, but I hadn't seen her in much else. And that Sabrina, the remake of Sabrina, she was in that. Yeah, she's one of the aunties in that.
Oh, right, okay.
So she's doing stuff, and
I mean, not that she needs to. I mean,
yeah,
the family's
but-
minted thanks to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah, but I don't think we'll watch it again. But it was for a kids show and that kind of thing, and the supervillains and all that. It was all right. I mean, they've got a really great thing where the youngest son, he gets his power. He's the only one who's got power, and it comes in the first episode, and he's now a shape changer. So that automatically is any writer's dream to get out of something straight away. And it's got the cliches and that, and but it's right for what it is. It's made for sort of children. It worked on that level. They've had 2 series apparently, and there is a third one being made. So it seems to be a hit on. Well, in this country, I think it's on Disney. So that makes it Disney on Nickelodeon, probably in America or whatever.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, that was all right for what it was.
Cool.
But
I've just noticed he's got like a pen and paper and everything.
yeah,
He's crossing things off as he goes. I'm impressed.
the one I was impressed with, and we're doing this in Year 7 at the moment, and I've made a whole scheme of work out of this. We're doing mystery. It's the theme of mystery novels, mystery, whatever, and the elements of the story that need to be put in place for the mystery to be solved, and there's like a formula and that sort of thing. That's what we're teaching, and then the second half is then they will write their own mystery. So we're analysing ones at the moment, and well, actually, no, we're not analysing. We're solving the mysteries.
Are you watching Scooby-Doo?
We are watching Scooby-Doo because. Well, it's Year 7. No, it's Year 8. Sorry. So you can't go to.
I don't know what age that is. I'm no good with that.
Second year at big school.
12,
Okay.
13.
Yeah. Okay.
So we did do an episode of Death in Paradise, but some of them got bored with that. But some of them liked it and thought it was really good, so they're watching it on our plan now. So I've got them in touch with it anyway. I've done my bit and passed it on to the next generation. But so we went to Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc. or Mystery Incorporated, which was in the last 10 years.
I say, so this is this new Scooby-Doo
This is a
with
new
that new
Scooby-Doo.
style of animation?
Yeah, a more modern style of animation. Still got the gang. They haven't. This isn't one of the ones where they've like. There's another one where like Falmer's African American now, and Shaggy something where they've tried to tidy up. This is old school gang, but it's brilliant. There is so much in it where I'm just cracked up, and the kids haven't got a clue. There's one where there's this town, and there's like a
Sorry,
ghost.
that's just. I'll have to interrupt you now, otherwise I'll forget.
Yes.
Chloe and I were watching Hey Dougie the other day, and I know they were doing something about they were travelling, and there was a convoy of trucks, and they were talking. The trucks were talking to each other.
Rubber Ducky.
Rubber Ducky
Brilliant.
and Good Buddy, and it's like they didn't have to put that in there.
Yeah, that's what it is.
They've done that for us,
Yeah.
for our age group.
We got a great big convoy
Yeah.
running through the night. Yeah, so in this one, there's one where it's like a haunted town. And in there, you always get like the bit before the credits that set up the mystery, and then
Yeah.
the gang arrive. And there's also an overarching mission, because they live in Crystal Cove, I think it's called now. I think it's up the road from Cabot Cove.
Yeah.
But and like Fred's dad is the mayor.
Is it not far from Crystal Lake?
It's probably run by there. But like in one of the first episodes, you see this family and they're on holiday and they're lost, and like, all you hear is the voices going, "Well, I don't know where it is. Can you find them out?" And it's like, "Shut up, Dad." And then this long station wagon pulls in. The guy gets out. It's clearly Chevy Chase. But with someone's not really, someone doing the voice, and then the wife gets out. "Oh, Clark, what's going on?" And then then the monster comes out, and the kids are, and they get chased off, and it's all things like that. And there was another one where, I'm trying to think all the things in. Now they went to the beach, and then Pebbles and Bam Bam are at the beach, like grown up, but they know it's not acknowledged; it's just there. And I was just like, there's a lot of things and little nods to films and TV shows. There's some Twin Peaks references as well. It goes that deep in some of the bits. And I got this feeling that I've probably missed stuff, and I need to go back and watch it again, because you're trying to solve the mystery. But there's all these things in it. It's just, they're obviously like, we need to put a lot in for the parents here. And it's really cool. But the kids are liking it. They knew Scooby-Doo. We're almost getting the crimes right. We've got it most of the time, and there is normally someone under a mask, so it kind of fits the formula. But there is an overarching thing which you've got, like, so there's sort of, you get a little bit of a clue to each one that something's not quite right about the town, and but we don't know what yet. These teenagers disappeared like 20 years ago or something, and they're making it out, but it's an old time, but really it's not anymore. It's like. But and they're all enjoying it. So that's not a bad series. I think it's on ITVX as well.
Okay.
Because what some of them have done now is they're clearly going home and watching it, because their ideas are a lot better what's going on the next day. They're like, "So do you think it might have something to do with that?" It's like, yesterday they were clear. You've gone home and watched it, but hey, they're doing something. So that's good recommendations.
They're engaging.
That's good recommendations for the kiddie winks. And I've got a couple more for the grown-ups in a minute.
Okay, so I have been watching Trap with Josh Hartnett. So this is M. Night Shyamalan, back once again with the Shyamalan master. So a father and his teen daughter attend a pop concert, only to realise they've entered the centre of a dark and sinister event. So I think if you see the trailer, I'm not going to give it anything away. It turns out that the police know that a serial killer is going to attend this pop concert. Don't know why, but they've tracked him down and know he's going to be attending. Again, it's not giving anything away, because I knew about this before the film started. Josh Hartnett is the serial killer. So he's there with his daughter.
Definitely not giving anything away.
No, it's in the trailer. It's him.
Okay.
But it's more about being an M. Night Shyamalan film. Is he actually the serial killer? Because you're always expecting a twist or a turn. So, but that's what they're setting.
I used to. Now I just expect disappointment.
Well, that's what everyone's set up to believe. So, This is. I mean, in some ways, he wanted to make a film of a pop concert and a serial killer story. So there's a lot of music. There's a lot of, goings on.
Sounds like just a lot of filler.
It kind of feels like that a lot of the time.
I'm imagining they're not going to put this on sort of up north. In this country, it's not the best market for that sort of thing at the moment.
What I will say is Josh Hartnett plays a good role. He's a bit larger than life serial killer in some scenes, but no doubt he's been directed to do exactly that. There are some twists and turns. The pop star gets involved in little bits. It's one of those ones, though.
What's this on? Is it on?
You have to buy it, rent
it. Okay.
But she becomes really annoying.
Don't think I will be.
And you actually want Josh Hartnett to win and escape. Anyway, so there's trials, tribulations, little bits of twists and turns. It's all right. I just kind of liked it. I think because it was trying to do something a little bit different from a serial killer thing, i.e., he's literally trapped in a stadium, and they know he's in there, as opposed to like spending 2 hours of film trying to hunt him down and trying to
Seven style.
yeah. So they know he's there, and this is him trying to escape. I'd wait until it comes out for free on one of the movie channels or whatever. But if you're desperate, then I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's not brilliant, but it's better than some of the M. Night Shyamalan films that he's produced recently.
I didn't mind the one on the beach. It's probably called The Beach.
Yeah, that was alright.
Age or
but-
something.
Old.
Old. That's it.
Yeah,
Oh, that was it.
that was alright. But again, I think he peaked a while ago, and he's just trying to find something else. But
It's just having good ideas. And there haven't been.
as I said, it's a bit of a different take on a serial killer.
Cool.
Damien, any more from you?
Yeah, and then you'd thought I'd learnt my lesson.
Uh-oh.
You know, going from possession and etc.
Yeah, don't take drugs, and don't take him
Yeah.
into Brett's class next time.
Yeah, I won't. Don't take dog laxative into the classroom.
Stop rubbing it on my carpet.
But I did the same thing. Looked at a few films on Amazon. Read the synopsis of this one and thought that sounds good.
Uh-oh.
Nefarious. It was
That sounds
2022.
familiar.
2022?
I may own that.
2023. On the day of his scheduled execution, a convicted serial killer gets a psychiatric evaluation during which he claims he is a demon, and further claims that before the time is over, the psychiatrist will commit 3 murders of his own. And then it's basically a to and fro between a psychiatrist and a bloke in prison, supposedly possessed. It's billed as a horror. It's not. It's a thriller, if anything. It stars Sean Patrick Flannery, Jordan Belfi, and Tom. I mean, I should have known, because none of these names rang a bell.
Yeah.
I admire the fact you gave it a chance.
I
though.
and again, it's still longer than an hour and a half, and it should have been shorter. Don't bother.
Okay.
Just don't. It's to be fair, in its defence, the guy playing the psycho, if you like, starts off acting really well, but it's like he's got bored by the midpoint of the film, and he's like, oh, fucking hell.
Maybe they showed him some of the film.
I don't know. It's like it's almost like, oh god, he's asking me. The director's asking me to do this again. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, all right, I can't be bothered anymore. I'm just going to phone it in. So he starts. You say it, and that's what hooked me in, because I thought he's actually doing a good job at the start, doing that kind of crazy, you know, almost not. I can't think. It reminded me of someone at the time, but I can't think who it reminded me of now. But almost the kind of Joker-esque character, and sort of talks to someone, then talks to himself in the same,
Yeah.
you know, without even pausing, and you know, you get. And he was very good at doing that kind of almost switch between being a normal person and a psycho very quickly. But towards later on in the film, it's like, oh no, I've got to do psycho bit, haven't I? Yeah, psycho. So yeah, don't bother.
Okay.
Which is a shame, because again, it could have been good.
Back to you, Brett.
Okay. Right.
You got 2 more things, yeah?
Yeah, 2 more things, and then a couple of recommendations.
Right, go for it.
Right. You sound really enthusiastic. Just
Well,
do
I
it.
just never know what's coming out of your watch list.
One of the better things I've watched in the last week, Disney Plus have released the first 2 episodes of Agatha All Along, the
See,
latest
I've heard-
installment of the MCU.
I've had differing views on this. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what you thought.
I thought it was really clever, and after I watched the I think it's by the end of the first episode. If you go back and watch it again, it's completely different, and that doesn't happen a lot anymore. People try to pull that off, but it's one of those. Once you realise what's going on, you kind of. I don't want to ruin it.
You can ruin it for me. I'm never going to watch it.
Oh, you should do it. It's good.
No, well.
Yeah, don't ruin it, because
No.
I will watch it.
Yeah, so 2 episodes so far so good.
Okay.
There's a lot of weird. It basically just follows on from WandaVision and quirkiness as well.
Cool.
There's bits where one character talks and it all gets. It's almost like it's been censored out, and we don't know if that's what. It's a lot of perception in this. So you're seeing what she's seeing and experiencing what she is, but sometimes what she's seeing and what it's isn't what it is, and things like that. So it's all a bit kind of. You got to be switched on a bit, I think, to watch this. And that's when I went back and watched the first one again. You suddenly like,
Yeah, I might wait for them all to drop.
Might be worth it, rather than keep trying to remember. So Agatha All Along on Disney Plus, very very good so far. And my other favourite thing now on Netflix, The Queen of Villains, which is the new. I think it's going to be a 5-part series. It is the biography of the Japanese lady wrestler Dump Matsumoto, who was
There's
one
a
of
theme
the
to this set podcast, isn't there?
who was one of the one of the most like hated evil women wrestlers in Japanese wrestling history. And I'd heard of her as a wrestler, but I didn't know much about her story. And when you watch, I've done the first 2 episodes of that. And she is the most polite, nice person at Wrestling Cat, and like she isn't passing the auditions because she's too nice and she's too light and like hitting and make sure you mean it and all that. So I'm still intrigued how she will end up becoming how she becomes, and it's like very biographical, but it plays the wrestling the right way for me because it's clear that there's the predetermined element of it, but you're seeing her training and what they go, especially in Japan, what they go through. And there's a bit where one of the older wrestlers doesn't like the new girl who's coming in, and they sort of pick on her. And in the match, they like tell her something, and then they do something different to her, and like hurt her and stuff like that. And that does happen. And it is like they are hurt, and you do see that rather than. It's all fake and we're all friends, which was a bit kind of what the Young Rock kind of was like. It kind of showed that it hurt, but everyone got along and it was all a lovely thing. Whereas this is a bit more, you're getting the politics and the bitchiness and the evilness, and you get her life story and what an arsehole her dad was. But she did say later on she learnt to wrestle in because she wanted to be strong enough to beat and kill her dad. But I don't know if that was in character or if that was not, but it was like, yeah. But no, it's really good. Even if you didn't like wrestling, you'll get pulled into the sort of story. It's just, that's what she's doing. It is a wrestling thing because that's what she did, but she could have been a footballer or could have been something else. It's that sort of story, and you see it. So I do recommend that.
Cool.
And the other things that have just come out this week that to keep an eye out for, we've had a teaser for the new Marvel Thunderbolts movie with an asterisk, which is really cool. And they've done the poster. Do you remember that Sons of Anarchy poster where it's all sort of grey and everyone's like leaning on each other and they're sort of all in rows and someone's got something? They've basically done a homage to that, but I don't think anyone knows that it's Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it clearly is. That's come out. There was something else I really wanted to draw people's attention to. But I've got too many things open.
Well, whilst you're doing that, the last thing I watched,
Oh, yeah.
season 2 of Sherwood.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Sherwood?
Sherwood.
Don't get yourself excited. It's got nothing
No.
to do with Robin Hood.
It's the
It's
crime one, is it?
Crime thing with
Yeah.
not Neil Morrissey. He's been behaving badly. The other Morrissey. Forgot
Yeah.
his name now.
David
Morrissey. Yeah. The first season was centered around this sort of ex-mining village and uncovering some of the stuff that happened during the miner strikes with undercover police and etc. etc. And that was pretty decent. That was pretty good. This one tries to do something similar with the kind of looking back in the past, but it's just not. It's not as good.
Hmm.
And his character, He's now left the police force and is working as some sort of liaison between police and gangs, like visiting boxing clubs and stuff like that. Being one of those sort of we got to cut this off cut the snake's heads off at the start, wherever it is. But it's just not very good, so don't bother.
Okay. Last thing for me.
I've certainly been the person I've watched stuff, so you haven't had to this week, haven't I?
Well, Borderlands just dropped.
No, Twisted Metal was alright. So carry on.
Twisted Metal was good. Borderlands, so obviously based on the game, I think. Kate Blanchett's in it, Kevin Hart, some other people, Jamie Lee Curtis. Jack Black, of course, is doing a voice of a robot. I fell asleep. I haven't gone back to it yet. It wasn't great. It really was not very good. I'm not alone in thinking that, because it's 4.5 out of 10 on IMDb. But I paid for it now, so I will go back and watch it.
Go back and watch it.
Yeah. Summers, you were going to say there was something to keep an eye out for. Did you manage to find out what that was?
Yes.
If you haven't, it's no problem. We're done. You can mention it next time.
No, it needs to be this time. Because I've got the email, but I can't find it. Bear with me a second. You can pause for a second if you want.
Talk amongst yourselves. Anything else you did? We didn't actually ask what you did.
Oh, so it was the wife's birthday. So we had a
Yep.
party. You were there.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Yeah. Bit of a quiet one because lots of people were ill. But we had a nice.
Well, me and Emily enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah, we had a nice night. And it was nice not being hungover the next day.
Hmm?
So yeah.
I don't get hangovers, so.
There it is.
Okay, so Brett's found it.
Right, so a couple of other just recommendations of things upcoming.
They can't hear you.
A couple of other recommendations for things upcoming. Hellbound, which we reviewed way back, has got a season 2 hitting Netflix. The Japanese thing with the demons now when they came and attacked them at school.
Yep.
That's coming back for a season 2, and the trailer looks good. Squid Game drops Boxing Day. Squid Game season 2, so that's going to be cool. There's a new one called Teacup, which I believe is coming to Apple, and it's a mystery horror thing, and it looks really weird. There's like a dude with a freaky gas mask on, and it all looks a bit mysterious. The Platform 2 as well has come into Netflix. Does anyone remember The Platform?
Is that where they're stood on? Stuck on
it's
a
got
food.
all the food and all that.
Yeah.
There's a second one on that coming, and that again looks good, but it looks like it could also be very similar. But hey. There is also a new film coming out soon called Seven Cemeteries, which stars Danny Trejo.
Hey.
And I'll just give you the buzz. In a recent parolee, Danny Trejo gets a Mexican witch to resurrect his old posse so that they can help save a woman's ranch from a ruthless drug lord.
Cool.
What else do you want?
Zombie A-Team.
Yeah.
And also the other news, which is coming very soon. Anyone remember a little film called Psycho Gorman?
Yes.
Well, the people behind that have got a new release coming out soon called Frankie Freako. After calling a late-night party hotline that promises out-of-this-world fun, uptight yuppie Connor Sweeney must battle the pint-sized forces of evil that get unleashed through his phone line, led by the maniacal rock and roll goblin Frankie Freako.
Cool.
And that's out pretty soon.
I like the sound
of that. We
of
may have a review of that coming up.
Brilliant.
Yep.
So that's what I've been watching and what's coming up.
Thanks, Brett.
Cool. Slow Horses is back.
Yeah, we're waiting.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch them until they've dropped, but
Yes, I want to watch that
I
too.
saw the first one. It's
Don't
good.
watch Gogglebox. That's all
I
I'm
don't watch
say on
Gogglebox
that.
anyway.
I don't watch.
Well, I do, but I wasn't expecting that to be on there.
Oh, right, okay.
But to be fair, the bit they showed, I was right.
Fair enough.
That's all I'm going to say. But yes, I think they're going to be doing what they did within the Line of Duty on that, where like every week you just see the next twist. So I was like, well, I just deleted them all in the end because I don't need to watch any of it now. So your little warning there.
Cool.
Spotlight.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It's a 2010 black comedy horror written and directed by Eli Craig. He did Zombieland and a couple of other things. It centers around a well-meaning hillbillies who are mistaken for killers by a group of clueless college students who are camping in the woods. The film was made on a budget of around $5 million. Production began in June 2009 with the casting and actors, and shooting started a month later with post-production starting in October of that year. So an average turnaround for a film of this length and size. The film premiered on 22nd of January in 2010 at the Sundance Film Festival and received a limited release in the United States. The film was distributed by Magnolia and received a limited theatrical release in the US on the 30th of September 2011. On its opening weekend, the film grossed $52,843 from 30 theatres. It grossed $250,000 in the US and managed to bring that up to about $5 to $5.3 million outside the US. However, it was nominated for several awards and even won some, including Best Film at the Sitges have I spelt that right? Sitges Film Festival, the Audience Award at the SXSW Film Festival, and Jury Prize for the Best First Feature at the Fantasia Festival, plus a few others and lots of other nominations as well. It's got positive critic and viewer reviews. I think on IMDb it's something like a 7.5 or 8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes as well is quite decent score. The cast: Tyler Labine, who's been in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Monsters Uni,
Reaper,
For All Mankind, even some Voltron. He plays Dale. Alan Tudyk, who's pretty much been in everything.
Or his voice has, at least,
who plays Tucker. Katrina Bowden, who's been in Piranha 3DD, Sex Drive, and a few other films. As
Scary
Alison.
Movie 5.
Yep. Jesse Moss, The Uninvited, Final Destination 3.
Wolf Cop.
Wolf Cop, thanks, Brett. Okay, so this didn't make a huge amount back at the box office, but it looks like that's not necessarily the film's fault for a lot of this.
They only got a limited thing, didn't
exactly.
Yeah.
So, bit of a shame there because, as I said, it got a load of great critic reviews and viewers all seemed to like it. But hey, that's showbiz.
It did have as well, just on my cast notes, it did have a bit of a Power Rangers connection too.
Go for it.
It had Jason, the African-American gentleman, was played by Brandon Jay McLaren, who was Jack Landers in... He was the red SPD Ranger in Power Rangers. And Eli Craig's wife, Sasha Craig, who's the news reporter, she was Kelsey Williams, the yellow Lightspeed Ranger. So he's definitely got something for suits and helmets. And I didn't even realise until I was looking at this that Eli Craig is Sally Field's son as well. So it's like, Nepo baby.
Potentially.
Well, again, he wrote and directed it, though.
Yeah, but
put a few legs up here and there.
Yeah, he's got that Cannonball Run money, hasn't he? But he's done a good job.
Okay, so memories. Have you guys seen it before? If so, when?
Yeah,
where?
I have it on digital versatile disc. I thought at the time there was this one. There was Todd versus the Book of Pure Evil. There was Stan versus Evil, and there was another one of a similar. Oh, Bruce, the one with Bruce Campbell, whatever that was called.
Ash versus Evil or something like that.
Ash versus Evil. And this wasn't in the top 3 of any of those. I didn't hate it, but there was a lot of other stuff I actually liked Stan versus Evil better, which was the grumpy doctor from Scrubs, John.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I thought you were talking about last week. When you said this film, that's what came to my head. I'd never heard of this. I genuinely didn't know this film existed.
Cool.
So
that's the purpose of the podcast.
Who's the jump the shark guy?
The Fonz.
Ted McGinley. It's his cousin. He's the grumpy doctor from Scrubs.
Yeah, I know
John
you mean.
McGinley. Yeah, McGinley. I was trying to remember the surname.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. And so yeah.
The funny thing is I think of Office Space, not Scrubs.
Oh yeah.
When,
I forget he's in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of the auditors.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, I was in Ireland. It was, I think, everyone else had gone to bed apart from Shell's mum, so we were watching Sky. She had put something on, just flipped over, and this started, and just found it really funny.
I know it's good. It was just at the
Whoa,
time there was a lot of.
It's okay.
We can get to that. We can get to that.
It had a lot of stiff competition at the time. That was all.
It's okay. No doubt you'll tell us about the pacing, whether it's on or off as we go through the film.
Well, as we review the movie, yes, we might.
So let's crack on and walk through the film.
Oh, it's not me first.
No, it's Brett first.
Yes, it's me. Right, let me just. I'm just readjusting because I'm reading off.
And that gives me an opportunity to say to those listening and watching, don't forget to like and subscribe for more of this seamless professional content.
Click the shares. Click the shares. Okay, the film begins with a reporter and a cameraman, who may or may not be the director and his wife, being murdered before. Then we go back in time to the preceding events. It's 3 days ago, and there's a group of college kids. Allison, Chad, Chloe, Chuck, Jason, Naomi, Todd, Mitch, and Mike. And they are camping in West Virginia. While at a creepy gas station. Yeah. Well, I forgot what I was going to say now.
Sorry.
While at a creepy gas station.
While at a creepy gas station, they encounter Tucker and Dale, two well-meaning hillbillies who have just bought a vacation home of their dreams, a rundown lakefront cabin deep in the woods. On Tucker's advice, Dale tries to talk to Allison because she's caught his eye, but because of his inferiority complex and appearance and
probably the
reaper that he's
he's
carrying,
kind of whacking great big scythe.
This only scares her and her friends. On the way to the cabin that Tucker's recently bought, they are pulled over by Sheriff Gurr, who warns them of dangers in the area. So, nice establishing. I quite like the Reaper thing because that was kind of what he was known for when this came out. And Matey was pretty much just Steve the Pirate at this point, wasn't he?
Pretty much, yeah.
He hadn't been in. Cause that's the first thing I remember him ever being in that I noticed him in Dodgeball. And it's a nice introduction. You get the usual.
The scene. Yeah.
You get the typical
kids
horror gang
off to the lake.
Yeah. Some are a bit more friskier than others.
Yeah,
it gives you an idea who might get killed first. And creepy sheriff, creepy town.
And it's also almost got that Wayne's World camaraderie between Tucker and Dale, where I don't know which one's which.
Reminded me of Fred and Barney.
Yeah. Yeah,
I got a Flintstones vibe off him because it was that kind of, oh gee, Fred, well, yeah, okay, Bard.
And Tucker's apparently the ladies' man, trying to give Dale all this good advice. It's like, no, you seize the day and you go for it. And then obviously, when they're way to the holiday home, that they've been like building up all their dreams to have their own holiday home. One of Dale's drinking a beer. Tucker's drinking a beer, and the police stop him over, and there's almost the. I thought they're going to get.
Well, the gag that you think they're going to do, they don't do, do
they?
You know?
Yeah, which is a bit of a shame.
Because he's got his shirt off, he's bending over in front of him. You think, are they going to go there straight away? And they don't, and it's and that might be a metaphor for the rest of the film, but let's see.
Ooh, okay,
intriguing. Okay. So Tucker and Dale arrive at their decrepit cabin and begin repairing it. Nearby in the woods, Chad tells a story about the Memorial Day Massacre, a hillbilly attack which took place 20 years ago. The college kids go skinny dipping where Tucker and Dale are fishing, and Allison, startled, hits her head. Tucker and Dale save her from drowning, but her friends mistake her being abducted. Mistake them, yeah. When Allison wakes in Tucker and Dale's cabin the next day, she's initially scared, but gradually befriends them. The other college kids arrive at the cabin to save Allison from her psychopathic captors, and Chuck runs away to get the police.
He almost goes flat on his face as well.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, oh, he's falling, and then it cuts. I'm like, oh, he's not supposed to do that.
No, then it cuts back and he's running perfectly as if he hasn't fallen over. Yeah, I spotted that as well. While Dale and Allison are inside the cabin, bees attack Tucker as he accidentally cuts a hive, causing him to frantically wave his chainsaw around, which the college kids misinterpret it as hostility. They scatter through the woods where Mitch accidentally impales himself on a broken tree, killing himself. After finding Mitch's body, Chad persuades the others that they are in a battle for survival. This did make me laugh. That.
Yeah.
Running it. Yeah.
Yeah, the bee. I mean, it's. This is where your horror card bingo comes out, isn't it? You know, because you've got your Evil Dead cabin, then you've got your Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it's almost, because he's been stung by bees, and probably the deformity as well, and then just, I don't know, the random death was just,
But
nice.
I like the bit.
It was nice.
So they're both running, and they're actually parallel with each other,
and it's just looking at him.
It looks at him. Just like, and I don't know if you could, because I can't remember exactly where it is, whether it's in this scene or a bit later or the next bit. But he comes back and he's just like, the guy must have be allergic to bees or something, because he was running like his life depended on it.
Yeah, there's almost a bit like Final Destination as well, with the way the kids, the college kids are getting.
I think a couple of them are in Final Destination.
Yeah, one of them is.
Yeah.
And on this is where I can say on the DVD. There's a thingy where you can watch it and it's recut. But it's from their point of view. So it's almost like Tucker and Dale are the creepy because you don't see the other bits.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, hey, let's go to the lake. Who's that over there? What's going on? And it's a nice touch. But
I'll remember not to say that in the notes section after we've given out thoughts about that.
So I was just going to say.
Do you want to talk about the fact that there was a South Korean remake titled Handsome Guys?
That's later on. I've got that written down. I watched it.
Great.
You said deep cut.
There we go. Anyway, so Allison's friend follow Tucker and Dale back to their cabin and see Allison helping out with the construction of an outhouse, but they assume he's making her dig her own grave. They all attack, but Todd runs at them and accidentally impales himself on his own spear when attacking Dale, and Mike falls into a wood chopper while lunging for Tucker, who bent down to pick up some more wood. Allison's accidentally knocked unconscious by Dale's shovel during the attack, and he takes her inside. The other kids assume the hillbillies killed the two when they see Tucker trying to save Mike from the wood chipper.
Pull him out.
So again, one of the things I like about this is, again, there's no messing around, because you kind of think, how are they gonna turn this to an hour and a half? But to quote Brett, it feels like it's really well paced, and you get them all killed off in a relatively short time. And I don't know about you, Soulless Summers, but I was laughing out loud.
Yeah.
And the amount of films that make me laugh out loud, I could probably count on one hand at the moment. So I was just impressed that it's still making me laugh.
I know, it was a cool bit, and I like where he's just there with like the legs.
Yeah.
Like, what? And
I think he even says, "Oh my God, are you all right?"
He's heavy for half a body.
And what was I going to say? Yeah, no, it works well. Again, we get a better idea of the characters as well. We're getting to see like who are the braver ones, who are the more sensible ones. Because I still like the fact with the other guy that ran away, where they're like, "Why don't you just go and get the sheriff?" He's like, "Yeah, okay, I will."
Yeah.
And it's just like, where normally like the car doesn't start or no one wants to go, and the other guy, And the girl were like, yeah, let's just go. And they're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they obviously they come back later on, but like, rather than, no, we should stay here or split up or, do the Scooby Gang thing. If you two go that way and we'll go this way.
It's like, no, stop that. I'm going to get the police and we're off.
Screw this, let's go.
You take on the hillbillies if you want.
It just adds something to it. And then you just get the opposite side of Tucker and Dale just bumbling through everything, not really even sure what's going on.
Yeah, trying to do up their holiday home.
He jumped straight in the woods. Why would he do that? And it's just, Oh, it's me, isn't it? So, Tucker and Dale think the college kids are part of some sort of weird suicide pact and are contacting the police, and that contacting the police, will make them murder suspects. Chuck arrives back with Sheriff Gurr, who expresses doubt over Tucker and Dale's suicide pact theory.
Sorry, but I like the bit because he goes, how do you think that's going to play out? Oh, Sheriff, we're having a hell of a day. And then he virtually repeats it verbatim when the sheriff turns up. I don't know, it's just that really did make me chuckle.
Oh, yeah. Gurr goes inside the cabin and accidentally kills himself with Chekhov's loose beam that was mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. Then Chuck dies trying to threaten the hillbillies with the gun, only to shoot himself, that was the weakest one so far, because I thought I wanted him to like fall on it or drop it and then shoot himself in the head, because it was just like, But it done what it needed to do though, and the reaction of the guys in the car was almost like they didn't tell them that was going to happen, because they all kind of jumped, and it was like, he done it himself. And then Chad reappears and attempts to shoot Tucker and Dale in the sort of heroic way at this point, but only manages to capture Tucker, who was retrieving Dale's pet, Jangers the dog, whom he ties up, and then he ties him upside down to a tree. Chad then tortures Tucker and cuts off two of his fingers, sending them, his bowling fingers in fact, sending them with a message to Dale in an attempt to draw him out.
So the sheriff's death, and I don't know why, was the one that made me laugh out loud to the point where I was struggling to breathe. And I don't know, because I don't think it's anywhere near as funny or as impactful as the guy just diving headfirst into the wood chipper.
It's almost like he just tries to carry on with his job, though.
I think it's the way he's stumbling around. It's just, I don't know. It just really made me chuckle.
This is a bit, to me, it almost went like Laurel and Hardy kind of.
Well, it's a
like
pure slapstick.
Slapstick kind of. What's it called when everything keeps going wrong? Those sort of comedies.
Farce.
Like a farcical, slapstick kind of, I'd like to have seen. There's not many. I did check on DVD. Like, I just like to see the outtakes or something. We were talking about earlier about Cannibal Run. Yeah. There must have been a lot more on the cutting room floor for this, where they're just arsing around. But poor old sheriff. I was expecting a bit more from him. But that was that.
And again, for Tucker and Dale, they're trying to make out and explain exactly what's going on, but before they get a chance and try and bring the sheriff on side. He's dead.
Yeah.
So they're more and more in the shite.
Oh, I was just going to say as well, at the beginning, you get lured in as well with the typical kind of genre thing, like with the skinny dipping. So I'm just looking back through my notes, and she's at the top taking, before she hits her head, it's like, I'm going to shimmy out of this little top, and it's kind of like, who directed this kind of thing, and then what the stuff you'd expect, and then she falls and knocks herself out, which was nice, and that kind of flow carries on
the entire film draws on every single slasher film cliche,
and what
purposely, obviously.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because you're expecting the sheriff to be dodgy in some way.
Yeah,
this I genuinely, because I hadn't seen this, so I genuinely thought he was going to go into the cabin and explain how they can get away with it, or that sort of
first thing. Time I watched it, I thought he was actually a bad one.
Yeah,
and he was involved in the first killings.
Yeah,
because there's that sort of. I don't think this is giving anything. Well, there's nothing to give away, but you get the impression.
We're literally going through the whole story.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, before we get to it, because it's never really. Or maybe I missed it, but it's almost like they're in the serial killer's house, aren't they?
It's got to be, yeah.
Yeah, but it's never. Yeah, you never find out who it is. All the killings on the wall. There's ribs hanging. There's fingers and bones.
And the only thing they take notice of is there's like free hot dogs
that's
or
it,
something,
yeah.
some sort of coupon for
Yeah.
a discount at a hot dog store.
So, and it's right. So whoever the killer was at some point before, this was where he was from, the 120 years ago or whatever it is, and that's never even mentioned again, is it? It's just like for that bit as they look round, and you're waiting for that to come back as well. But yeah, sorry, carry on.
Okay. Dale leaves to rescue Tucker while Chad and Naomi return to the cabin to save Alison. When Alison tries to explain the situation, they accuse her of having Stockholm Syndrome. Tucker and Dale return, and Alison attempts to lead a calm discussion. Chad says his grandmother told him that his father was killed in the Memorial Day massacre, and his mother was the lone survivor. Jason and Chloe break in to retrieve Alison, and the fire breaks out. Tucker, Dale, and Alison escape. Naomi, Chloe, and Jason die, and Chad, who is now insane and scarred, vows revenge. After crashing their truck, an injured Tucker tells Dale that Chad has taken Alison to an old sawmill.
Yeah. So again, a lot happens. Just a bit where they come in, just as as Alison's trying to like bring calm to the situation, and then all hell breaks loose, and they all just start dying.
I mean, I don't know. It's got to be a homage to Derek in
Bad Taste.
Bad Taste.
Was it? Yeah, I think it's Bad Taste.
Or was it Brain Dead?
Brain Dead. Well, I'm a Derek, and Dereks don't run.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. At the sawmill, Chad ties Alison to a log, Bond style, and sets it to convey into the saw. Dale arrives and rescues Alison, and the two barricade themselves inside an upstairs office where they discover news clippings revealing Chad's father to be one of the hillbillies responsible for the massacre 20 years ago, and not one of the victims. Chad becomes enraged, but Dale throws a box of chamomile tea at Chad, giving him an asthma attack. Chad convulses and falls out of a window to his apparent death. So yeah, we get the little twist that Chad is actually the son of the original serial killer. And yeah, just a nice little bit of slapstick with the chamomile tea.
Yeah, because that was mentioned very briefly earlier.
Yeah.
A nice callback to that. I forgot as well we got your friend. See, look, they're threatening us. We got your friend.
Yeah.
And all that sort of thing as well. The miscommunications and the Michael Myers death at the end, where he falls out the window down, and then when you look, he's not. Well, we don't know that yet, but you look and he's not there, kind of thing. Classic Michael, Jason,
You name it.
all of them. Yeah. Bit of Deliverance thrown in with the Hicks and the Hillbillies and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just lacking a banjo. There could have been a banjo in it.
So I was going to burp. So the police and the news crew arrive late at the cabin and broadcast a news report stating that the deaths appear to be the result of a suicide pact and a deranged killer who is revealed to be Chad. Who is revealed to be Chad, and he'd survived the fall. The reporter and the cameraman are the same two from the film's opening, so you know what's going to happen there. Tucker watches the report on the news while convalescing in the hospital. Dale enters and they discuss Tucker's recovery. Tucker asks Dale whether he managed to invite Alison out on a date and is happy to hear the two of them are going bowling. And Tucker's got his fingers sewn back on.
Well, he has some fingers sewn back on.
He's got fingers now anyway.
Yeah.
Later that night at the bowling alley, Dale encourages a fellow hillbilly to talk to some girls and to just be himself. As Dale and Alison confess their feelings for each other and kiss, the other hillbilly accidentally knocks out a girl in the background, starting a new misunderstanding, and it's kind of dragging her off unconscious, which is, a little bit uncomfortable. But I like the fact that he's now passing on the knowledge that he gained onto the next one. And I did like those bowling shirts, but you can't find them anywhere anymore.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it sort of goes full circle back to the start with matey, was it Craig being the lunatic? Oh no, Eli Craig, sorry, he's the director. What was his name?
Chad.
Chad, that was it. I knew we were going to see Chad being the guy, the deformed weirdo you see at the beginning before it then cuts back again.
Yep. So we talked about a couple of points in regards to special features and the remake. Brett, you might tell us what the remake was like. Handsome Guys. Eli Craig has been working on a sequel. However, by sounds of it, this was some few years ago.
Oh, I've got loads on that.
And it didn't really get past the first writing of the script. Alan Tudyk read it, and I don't know whether they're still pursuing it, but that was that.
Oh, I've got all sorts of quotes on it. That's been going back and forth for ages. But yeah, South Korea remade it under the name Handsome Guys. And it basically, you had a tough guy and a sort of sexy model guy who were like hanging around South Korea. And rather than rednecks, they were kind of boys about town kind of thing. You know, as I say, you got the hard one who knows all the gangsters and all that, and the model guy who's like the celebrity type one. And the misunderstanding comes when it looks like the girl dives and knocks herself out again, and they try and help her, but they think that she's someone, I can't remember if it's a Yakuza or someone's, I'll write it down right there. But basically they think that they kidnapped her.
Right.
And the whole thing is them trying to like help her and get her back, and they don't realise that they think she's kidnapped, and everyone's trying to get to them from all different angles and do it. And from what I could make out of it, it was quite funny. and it made $12.4 million.
Oh.
So it actually did better than Tucker versus and Dale. But it was changed enough, and and they want a European dream house. That's what they're going for. Like you say, with the original, it's been going back and forth. There was going to be a comic at one point as well that didn't happen. And the last big comment on it was from where's she gone? The girl, Katrina Bowden in 2021, who was like, she wanted to do one where it was like 15 years later and where they've got on with their lives and all that. And but again, that was something she was hoping would come out, but it was talked about, but nothing happened from that. Yeah, the original script, I think they basically said it was shit and binned it. And she's still fishing for one now about what was happening 15 years later, because everyone else has moved on now.
Yeah.
And she's still tied to that at horror conventions. But it got bounced around for a long time, and everyone was commenting it at different times and things. But I think they told the story.
A lot of time's gone past now since the first one, so
and they've all got a lot more irons in the fire. Well,
yeah,
the two main guys have.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Opinions, Damien.
I enjoyed it. So as I said, I hadn't seen this before, and I literally came to it cold. So not only had I not seen it before, I didn't like look it up or read anything about it. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. There were bits where we touched on. I was expecting that didn't happen. I thought, was there going to be a
Yeah.
I was expecting a twist at the end about the massacre again, but something different to what was mentioned. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much if it'd been casted differently. I think Alan Tudyk brought a lot of humour and warmth to that character that I think would have been missed, because you can see a lot of Resident Alien in the performance, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And he's not one of those guys that is
the same throughout.
In all of his roles. So you could almost say that was a bit like it's the kind of side eye and the way he delivers the lines in this. I think anyone else, it just wouldn't have been as funny or as warm. So he carries the film most definitely. I mean, it's a screwball comedy, so what I'm gonna say sounds like I'm reviewing a highbrow, high concept horror, and it's not meant to be any of them. But and I know it's also part of the point of the film, but some of the characters are a little bit flat, and the guy's progression from high school jock to deranged killer, you don't really see any of it. He's literally, I know he's a bit mental to begin with because he's trying to coerce whatever her name is, Alison, into sleeping with him, but he goes mental very, very quickly. There's no slow demise into insanity, which
it's just as in his genes, it's coming out.
Yeah, maybe that's the point of it. But
was it his dad's house?
Probably was his dad's house. Yeah, exactly. Maybe just being there was enough to trigger his insanity. But that aside, that doesn't really necessarily detract. It's because most you don't get that in any sort of slasher film, really. But I think because of the performance of the two main guys, everyone else almost is about, I don't know, 5 steps behind them in their performance.
Some people are upstaged by the dog.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
And again, they are playing, like you said, cliche stereotypes.
Yeah.
But
Go on then, Brett.
no, I liked it. I just felt it at times it was lost in what it was. I think sometimes like we all got the funny homage kind of Scream-like thing now, where it was going through all the picking the genre apart and doing the stereotypes and all that. But I think sometimes it didn't go far enough, and then there were other times where I think it tried to make itself a little bit serious again, and they kind of got lost in between sometimes. When it was funny, like the bits we spoke about. But there were other bits where it was kind of, okay, should we be scared now, or should we be laughing at this? And it wasn't clear either way. And I don't think they knew how to act it either way either. Not the main two, but like the other guys. Like, oh my God, they are trying to get it. And they would be playing it properly straight rather than in a cheesy way. Or, I don't know. And I think it lost its vision a bit in that way. And it maybe needed just sort of tidying up around the edges, and that just sort of, I'm not saying hammer it home so it's all obvious and it goes into sort of scary movie territory, but just that sort of, I think
that was its kind of saving grace, because I don't like any of the scary movies.
No, that's what I'm saying, but I think it didn't need to go that far. But I don't think, sometimes it was nudging and winking at us, kind of like in a Scream way. Then other times it was just kind of, it was just left out there, and it's kind of like, well, are we laughing at this bit, or are we upset that this is happening, or, and then it go back to Tucker and Dale again, and then you get the mood back again, and I don't know. I think it uneven to me at times. When it was good, but I think there were bits where it was a bit, like you say, matey going mad. The odd sort of bits where, like, you go there, we'll go there, and stuff like that, and just even the odd bits where, like, they just sat talking. It just, I don't know, it didn't have the punch wasn't always there.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because I think the comedy, the funny scenes lifted it out of that.
Yeah,
that makes
when
sense.
It's funny, it is funny.
Yeah.
But there are other bits, it's like, well, is this all sort of nod, nudge, wink, you know what's going on here, really, let's play along. Because sometimes it wasn't, officer, this is happening, okay, I'm going to go in the house. Once he goes in the house, we go back into the slapstick bit again, and it's almost like, I don't know, it just felt uneven. It wasn't always, what's the word, it didn't maintain
the tone
same
switch.
Tone. Yes, there you go.
See, I didn't have a big deal or big issue with that. I just enjoyed it for what it was. It was a bit of a farce, deliberately so. I liked, the way that Dale and Tucker and Dale, I liked their
Tucker
relationship.
And
I could kind of
that was good.
I could kind of seen it been done in the 80s with like a Chevy Chase or something like that. The way that they had their chemistry is what I mean. You know how they all played.
They were a great double act.
Yeah. No, and I just thought they managed to cram in a load for an hour and 28 or whatever it was. And it didn't take itself too seriously, but it still managed to have those almost poignant moments where, you know, the Dale and Tucker are chatting and he's trying to big him up and bring back his confidence. And you knew
I let you catch more frogs than me. That's not true. You were better than me, and you let me lick them all.
And you always knew he was going to get the girl. But as I said, I think that's just
it was still enjoyable. But I mean, if you go and watch like I said, like Stan versus Evil, which is sort of a similar thing in time, that he was just sort of deadpan all the way through it, and. But
I think they're
a different thing, but
because that was the one I thought it was. You were talking about, and I have seen that, and you're right. That is more deadpan, but then that's him. That's Tim, Tom, whatever his name is, whatever it is.
Yeah,
the auditor from Office Space. That's his shtick, if you like, and that's what makes that film funny. But they're different in tone. Dale versus Dale and Tucker
is a consistent thing, but when it's Dale and Tucker, it's good. When it was everyone else, it kind of, I'm crazy. I'm really sad. I'm really serious now. We need to get out of here. We need to get the sheriff. And it was just kind of, then it go back and go, yeah, you know, and it was just sort of like.
Again, I just kind of saw that as the point.
I see that as the point. I'm not to be argumentative, but I think that is kind of the point of it, is that because you're seeing it from two different angles. So the Tucker and Dale is jovial. Yeah. We're having a hell of a day. We're just going about our business, and they're supposed to be shit scared. So the
I get that. It works at the start.
Your light relief, and there's your horror, your
but
drama.
I think once that we've got rid of the sheriff and the feet and the wood grinder, whatever we call it. I think after that, once we get to the bit of like the face to face and the counselling and all that bit, which that bit is funny, that gets lost because it all sort of becomes one movie and they can't work out which bit it is.
Oh, so you're saying the final act?
But more once they all get together.
Yeah, but that's
a little bit because the other ones, there's the fire and the other deaths and the burning. But I think once everyone comes together, it loses that. We're just two hillbillies having fun. Oh, we're scared of them. You know, it's like, and it just jumps about a bit to me.
Fair enough.
But I still liked it. I'm just saying, I wasn't like always in tears as much after that. It was kind of okay.
You're right.
I think you're right there. It doesn't. It's the comedy gets lost after the lawnmower bit. That was the last time I laughed.
Right. Okay. So let's see what that turns into in regards to scores. Then I don't know whether it's going to beat Class of 1999.
I think it's a safe bet.
Well, let's start with Damien.
Okay. So, as I already said, Tudyk carries the film, and his performance is brilliant. The comedy, the scene, there's 3 laugh out loud comedy moments in that. The wood chipper, the lawnmower, and the sheriff's death. And I don't know why the sheriff's death made me laugh so much, but it really did. Because out of the 3 of those deaths, his is the less dramatic, or you know, he just leans over and whacks it, and the nail comes and hits him in the head. I don't know why.
The best bit they go with, no.
Yeah, and then he just stumbles out. It just, I don't know. It just really made me laugh. So that and Alan Tudyk's performance raises it above. Because I'm not a fan of spoof horror, really, with the exception of American Wolf in London, which gets the tone exactly right between the horror and the comedy. I don't particularly like I can't stand scary movie films. I can't stand scary movie stuff, and you know, any of that sort of horror comedy just doesn't work for me, with the exception of maybe Carry On Screaming. So
that was awful.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't get the most of the cast didn't want to do it, did they? Anyway,
Christopher Lee's got to beat him up.
So on those 2 points alone, if it hadn't been for that, it would be about a 5. But I'm going for a 7, no, a flat 7. Because it's
it
not.
looked like you were
I
toying with a 7.5.
I was toying with a 7.5, but just purely for the fact that because of the type of film it is, it's not gonna. It's
never going to be a 10 out of 10.
No, it's never going to be a. Yeah. It's no House. Well, I've just contradicted myself because that's a horror comedy, but again, they get the tone right in that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going for a 7.
Cool, Mr. Summers.
Okay, I pretty much I actually, one of my favourite bits was on the similar one of when he's just trying to impress her and he's like, Tucker and I were just I like that bit and stuff like that. Yeah, it had the little moments are often the best moments, and those two I wish we saw more of it. I'd like to have seen it again. I'd like to have seen like a nice sort of even a DVD extra where there's like an hour of just them two goofing off and just chucking shit on there to see. But I actually think about it now, I don't think they have the people around them that could contain that if they were ad-libbing.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
Two of those guys at that point were famous for being Power Rangers, and that's not the stretchiest of like abilities. No disrespect to any of those guys, and most of them were just from looking at their careers were just sort of Toronto actors who've been in every American series ever at one point and died. I actually wrote on my notes, it's the best Sam Raimi film without Sam Raimi.
Yeah, makes sense.
Fair play.
And so I'm gonna give it a solid 6. I think it's a very good upper mid card film, upper to mid top of the table kind of film. It just, I think that bit where it fell short somewhere is where that connection with people didn't happen, and we didn't get as much Tucker and Dale merchandise as we got Bill and Ted and Wayne and Garth.
Mm-hmm.
I
think had both of them been in the final act in the sawmill, they could have got more comedy out of that.
Yeah.
I know it's supposed to be his story at this point of saving the girl, but Tucker, Dale, which one of Rowan it is, should have managed to drag himself to the sawmill and just, even if he doesn't save the day exactly, he makes an attempt, some sort of screwball.
Even I can't think about him.
Failed attempt.
Like he's just crawling along to get there, and as matey comes around
Trips
that door, he
up
trips
over
over him.
Yeah.
Like, you saved me, Dale. I was like, no problem, Tucker. And he's like, doesn't even realise he's done it, type thing.
Exactly.
And it's just
Cool.
stuff like that.
Okay, I'm going to give it 7.5 out of 10. I just, something that can make me laugh out loud nowadays, deserves high praise. And I just, got swept away, lost myself in it for an hour and a half. And I think it did exactly what it set out to do in the space of a short amount of time. 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to find a fault because it, it can't be up there in the upper echelons of.
No, but that's the problem. If we were doing it on pure comedy horror genre, with then it might get more. But I can't justify more than that. But 7.5 out of 10. I would gladly watch it again, and gladly invite everyone to watch it who hasn't watched it.
So I think they missed the trick of just doing. They should have earnested it. So you then had like Tucker and Dale go to Disneyland. Tucker and Dale.
Well, unfortunately, they didn't make any money at the box office, did it?
Yeah.
So, those sort of things. And I think that would have. I mean, we got 3 Howard and Kumar films.
Yeah, true. Cool. Do we know where that puts it on the leaderboard?
Yeah, I'm just checking.
Ooh.
It's quite a way down, so give me a moment. Got to find it again now, because now I've hit sort. So that makes it come in at number 22 on 20.5. So it's joint 21st then technically with Kroll.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
I thought we slated that at the time. Maybe it's just because it seemed a lot better when I was a kid.
Yeah.
yeah, I think there was a lot of disappointment on that
Yeah.
on Kroll night, and it's just above Ghost Story on 20, so it's 20.5 equal.
I thought we liked Ghost Story.
We did. I think
And we
this is
like
it.
Tucker and Dale.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
These are respectable scores.
Yep.
We've done quite a lot of films now as well. So, when I say it's in the 21, that's out of. See, I'm still scrolling. We've done 58 films. So
yeah,
it's
58 logs filled.
yeah, yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, there's still some that we need to go back and get the scores for. But yeah, so it's
Cool.
mid-range. It's not. It's wiped its face, as they say in the antiques world.
No, fair enough. Oh, the one question I did have, though, about the whole film, what was the evil?
Yeah. See, this is why I was expecting something else to happen. Some, a
Well,
kind of
I've
Kruger-esque
I've
style
got my
person
theory.
to come and pick his hat up and go, sort of, just even in some sort of way to convey that he's passed down that gene to the son, sort of thing. Just something.
Is that not the thing, though? So, yes, there's all this rubbish stuff happening, but at the end of the day, you've got a serial killer's kid that has reprised his dad's role in killing people. Because even at the outset, he's not a nice guy.
No.
And he's already planning what he's going to do to Alison, whether she likes it or not.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the evil.
Well, what is the evil, Summers?
I think the evil is the judging of others. Because that's what messes up the whole thing to begin with.
And on that note, kid, that was episode...
No, I like that. I like the theory.
That was episode 126 of the Cult Faction podcast, where we put
their minds being blown.
Where we put the spotlight on Tucker and Dale versus Evil. But now it's our time to choose what we're going to put our spotlight on next time. And I believe...
Very good.
I believe it's...
I don't know where that came from. Just channeled a pheromone from the 1940s.
Brett's just become a mugwai. I believe it's Damien's choice.
It is my choice. Now, the spooky season, as I mentioned earlier, is fast approaching. And I've managed to watch 2 badly executed horror films over the last couple of weeks. So,
Executed.
I am taking you all back to 1987.
Ooh.
And I'm pretty certain this has got Stephen... Yes, it has got Stephen Dorff. I knew it did. I am taking you back to 1987. Some kids left at home alone accidentally unleash a horde of malevolent demons from a mysterious hole in their suburban backyard.
Oh, this
We
is,
are going to watch...
Oh, it's in the basement and it comes out.
The Gate.
Yeah. Okay. It's been a long time since I've seen that. Blimey.
What's in the gate?
Cool. Okay. So in 2 weeks' time...
I'm excited. What's that on?
It's
if
on
I'm playing
Prime.
at home?
So
Yeah.
and it's
Is it
freebie? Freebie on
Can
Prime.
I just say, I logged on to Prime today and it said, did you have a moment to do this survey? And I was like, okay. And it went, how do you find the interface on
Really?
Prime? And it was like 1 to 5 thing. And I was like, bad. What about this? Bad. What about this? Bad. What about this? Bad. And thank you for taking the time to update your views. You're a valid customer.
I was surprised you could actually find where to...
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was nothing to click. It was just like, I was like, oh, someone's listening.
Yeah, there's all these hidden stuff out there that you're not letting me see.
So yeah, it's all deep dived in there.
Cool. Okay, so 2 weeks' time.
2 weeks' time,
The
The
Gate.
Gate.
The gate.
And we will be in the full swing of spooky season by then, I think, won't we?
Yeah, we must be.
Yeah, well, I'm already getting there, to be
Yeah,
honest.
me too.
There's already some spider flick that's available to rent, which, yeah, looks quite good.
Spider flick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Flick.
thinking of Spider-Man for some
So
reason.
some evil spider that starts growing big and starts terrorizing a US apartment block, which I can't remember what it's called now.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm gonna maybe watch that if I can pluck up courage. Okay, so before we say goodbye, it's time to start the shutdown proceedings. So obviously we have a mothership where we have news, reviews, sometimes competitions.
We do. It's in full flow again at the moment.
So where can people go to see all of this content, Summers?
Cultfaction.com.
We're obviously on all the different podcasts.
All the socials.
And socials.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching our YouTube subscribers.
Yes.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
You're growing slowly. As one of the kids at school said today, he said, on my Fortnite channel, I've got 12.5k viewers now. How many are on yours? I was like, about that. I was like, ow.
Yeah. As always, you can leave a comment or do any of those on the socials or YouTube. Or if you want to contact us in the old-fashioned way, you can email us, Damien, at
cultfactionpodcast@mail.com.
Yeah.
There we go. So last thing to say is I've been your host for this evening, Paul Hawkins, joined by
Brett Summers and I. Or is it I, Paul, and Brett and I?
Me, myself, and Irene. And
Oh, Damien Hicks.
thank you, Damien.
That's quite all right.
That's you.
That's me. Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Check you later.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
You sure got a pretty mouth for a country boy.
Superman.